What's up with it? Do it cause I love it and I stuck with it. We ain't with the subbing in the cut with it. Please none of the talks, I heard enough of it. Like, what you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips, don't talk about it. Real eyes, real lies all the time. Stand on it, if we said it, we don't walk around it. Loose lips, sink ships, red cup, blue strips, new phone, who this? No, we don't allow it. Really on go, I don't know what's an off day. Now we on road, came from smoking in the hallway. Now we got shows, boys feeling like Broadway. Always look both ways, even on a crossway. Driving down Cross Bay, out town Barclays. Really on big things, came up a small way. Championship rings, baby, that's a ball game. Oh, she want a little bag, baby, that's small change. Yeah, that money talk. If we ain't cool, then cut me off. No breaking news, don't run your mouth. Thought it was the plug, now he running off. Thought it was a plug, now he running off. What you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this, don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip.
Hey guys, welcome to the 5Fs to Love. This is Real Talk with the Men. Tonight, we're gonna have a very candid conversation. You know, often in social media, we begin to see things maybe through slanted eyes, or maybe not. I think social media has allowed us to form relationships and concepts and ideas of people that maybe sometimes people can't live up to. Or maybe we're perpetuating an idea or concept about a certain gender that kind of carries maybe a negative or positive concept behind it or action. So that's why we're going to have a real conversation. Social media, reality or not? Let's hit it with Real Talk with the Men. So Tim, good guy, how are you? How's Tennessee going?
Doing good. How you doing, Christine?
It's going great. I heard you guys closed down the schools though. What's up with that?
They closed schools down for everything here.
Oh, did you get snow or just the conversation of snow?
Conversation. Pretty much.
Based on conversations, you shut it down. Okay.
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case. Okay, so we got New York in the house. We got Tennessee. What's going on, Ish?
What's up? What's up?
Ish, you know what? Last season, you were the most liked character because of your conversation. So I'm very interested in what you're going to say tonight. Like, I'm always very interested in what you're going to say, especially tonight. And you guys already know, Matt, you're the relationship expert. So this is going to be very interesting.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? What's going on?
Hey, man.
Ish, you can have the most liked award. I just want to be shooting straight truth at these ladies, straight truth. So yes, sir.
You got the best part award.
You guys are hilarious, but you guys know the conversation as far as women and their feedback, they always think Galen is the voice of reason. When all else fails, everybody goes, well, what's Galen's thoughts on this? So that becomes the standard. And Matt, everybody's always amused by you because you do, your matchmaking. Tim, since you've come on, it's my understanding like your Instagram is getting a lot of pops.
It does what it does.
What does that mean? He's like kind of like your Instagram, because of the pictures that we show of you, I heard it's getting a lot of pops.
It does all right. I mean,
It astonishes me how you get so bashful. You show those abs off like it's nothing though.
Hey, Christine, my friend, he told me the secret. So check out the Instagram from all of us. We're gonna have something special to show y'all. I still don't know if we'll ever catch up with Ish, but we're gonna try. But we're gonna have to show some different aspects of our personalities.
There you go, man.
I just want to say that Tim and Matt they talk quite often outside of this platform, and your friendship that you're forming is very interesting to me. But I like the way you guys motivate each other in a group chat, which I get really excited about. You guys keep me motivated too. So joining us tonight will be you guys, plus Dr. Campbell will be joining us shortly. So I'm really excited because our first segment that we're going to talk about is the impact of social media on relationships, which tends to be a little interesting. So I'm going to start with you guys around that whole topic. So Galen, what do you think the impact on relationships has been like in social media for people?
I think it's the new paradigm.
Okay.
It's the new paradigm because people have access to people in ways that they never had access to people before.
Mhm.
Through various social medias. You can inbox people, you can make comments and set comments, you can follow and watch people. It's so many ways in which social media impacts everyday life. People are also creating, you can create a argument just because a guy likes some other lady's page.
Yeah.
It creates a totally different paradigm. So to ignore social media and think that it doesn't matter in relationships, or it's not an avenue through which relationships can potentially happen. And when I say relationships, I mean just across the board. I'm not talking about just committed relationships. I'm talking about people doing hookups and other type of stuff. Social media is the
Yeah.
way most of this stuff is happening now. So, I've even saw somebody on a Hollywood actress said that she ended up dating some guy because he was another actor and he slid into her Instagram DM. It's a totally different world now.
That's how Meghan and Harry met each other. And she ended up marrying a prince because a friend of hers, she was sharing information on her friend's site. Harry saw it and then slipped her some stuff in her DMs and was like, we got to catch up. We got to go out on a date. So that's how Meghan met Harry, which is like insane, but that's what social media does for you. So before we get started, I want to make sure we share, we love to hear from people when they join in. So good guy, this is for you, Chantel. Thank you so much for
So
joining us.
Chantel, how you doing?
And when you think about social media in that aspect, Ish, what do you think about that?
Well, I think today's generation is too committed to it. I'm from the analog era. I didn't really get involved with social media too much when I was in the dating world. I think the kids today are too wedded to it, and I think there's also, the Reverend mentioned some good things, but there are also some negative things about it. You have OF, OnlyFans, which is a whole new dimension that's it's kind of crept up. I don't know. I think people are too wedded towards it. I think it should be used as a tool, but it's become like the main force of communication in relationships today. And personally, if I was dating, I wouldn't use it the way most people use it.
Okay, what about you, Tim?
I tend to agree with Rev and Ish right there. Social media today is just programming you. Anything that you have to do continuously feeding you what they want to feed you, even the advertisement, the algorithms, and different stuff that they do on there is kind of brainwashing to an extent. So you'll find yourself sometimes you're not even. I'll be at work and I'll be wanting to open up one of my apps to my job, and my thumb just hit the damn Instagram thing and open it up for no damn reason. So it's kind of brainwashing in a way. I think that people take too much time out of their life on a daily basis, following what somebody else is doing or worried about the other things. They can apply it to themselves. You spend 6-8 hours on Instagram or something like that. That's just too much time out of your 24 hours a day.
I agree. What about you, Matt?
Yeah, I think I agree. One of the things that Ish said that it really caught my attention was the language. And I think that social media is given a language that people are using that really is really negative for relationships. A man has to be this kind of way, or he's an alpha male or a beta male or a simp. And there's all kind of language that really doesn't apply in the real world, but that social media is giving you these languages. Is she a baddie? Is she a hottie? Is she an exotic? What is an exotic? What woman is an exotic? So, it's the language for me that really gets my attention with social media.
Which definitely lends 100% to my question to you guys. Do you think that social media has captivated men versus women more? Which one do you think it captivates more, men or women?
Women.
You think women? Why do you say women, Ish?
Because a great number of women nowadays are making a lot of money on say Instagram. You have the traditional platform of Instagram. They're the models, whatever, they're getting likes, whatever, and the algorithm. Then you have OnlyFans. I heard some women made some women are making $10,000 a month just showing their feet.
Okay, so let me ask you the question. So that means that men are captivated by it because that's men paying for that service. That's a woman taking advantage of the platform, but it seems to me that men are more so captivated if she's on OnlyFans.
Well, men always patronize women in terms of for sexual related activities. Women are now benefiting from it from the comfort of their home. But But a lot of women, I've heard women say that they wouldn't cancel their Instagram account if their boyfriend said so. If it became an issue in a relationship, they'd rather give up the boyfriend. That would never happen in our generation, when we're coming up. So
Right.
I think we're in a precipice of destruction. I'd like to hear what the Reverend has to say about that.
Gayle, he put a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah, no, especially with precipice of destruction. I feel like
That's an HBCU education. Go in.
I feel like I have to have an apocalyptic sermon now.
Take your time, no rush. No, take your time with that one.
I'll let the other guys jump in first if you all don't mind. Then I'll
Okay, no worries. So, Tim, for you, we talked about this before, that your intent in what you do in social media is not for any type of physical attraction. You're basically showing your gear, that your clothing line, you're motivating people to work out, to go to the gym. But the responses that you've gotten has been overwhelming because of the way you present it. And that's never your intent. We talked about that.
I mean, in just simplest form, you can just imagine is checkers sell more than chess. It's just that simple. So, so people are going to go for sex, something with your shirt off rather than without your shirt off. Something's faster, something looser. That's always going to be the game in pretty much everything you do in life, pretty much. Something that's going to take a little longer to get to. People are not going to stick with it. It just takes just a second to double tap a like or something like that. So the same person is going to get less likes with his shirt off on than he is with his shirt off, and he's still the same person.
But the thing is that the social media has become very captivating from my perspective, men, because men are liking a certain type of woman, a woman with less clothes. The woman that gets the most attention is the woman that presents a certain way. I'm very sure me working in my yard with some dungies on is not going to get the same likes as a woman working in the yard with a bikini on, right? So
that's true, but
I feel like we're living in a world of likes and no likes.
But like don't mean you want to take them home and be with them for more than a day.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for you to say. Thank you, good guy. Matt, I'm taking you out of this because I already know what you're going to say. It's going to be something totally unrelated. Go, Matt.
No. But you know what? I want to go back to your question of who uses the internet more and why. And so, for our purposes and for our audience, what real men think, we think women use it more. And so the data may conflict with that, but what do we think? I think, I can't speak for every man, but I think that women use it more. And it's not just the use, but it's how they use it and how it shapes how they think. And so when I'm having conversations with women, I can tell that they've been on the internet by the words that they say, far more than I can tell men using the same language and the same vocabulary.
Wow. All right. So Galen.
All right, on the precipice of destruction. Well, first of all, dealing with the original question, I don't have the data in front of me either. I would say I think that women use it more. Obviously, men are following, especially Instagram, especially with women who are obviously portraying, more erotic type pictures. As far as you can get away with it on Instagram, obviously is drawing the attention of people who want to see that, and men who want to see it in particular. But I do think that the issue is a little bit deeper. The algorithms that put things in front of us is also creating the high in the brain. Okay, Christine, in your previous life as a scientist, that there's a chemical reaction in the brain that makes a person go back and take a look at that, look, make that thumb, as Tim was saying, go to Instagram. So the challenge, I'm not going to say problem because it is problematic for some people, but the challenge is really this: when it's all said and done, am I putting my value in how many likes, how many views, how many people are commenting, how many people are DMing me, etc.? It becomes a pseudo world, a false world, a secondary world. instead of living in the world where we're interacting with people in a unique and different way. So because I'm a believer that most people have a social media persona
Yes.
that's not their real personality.
Exactly.
That's not their real life. That's not their real world.
Yes.
So people are now putting a lot of investment into being someone that they're not, and they're not developing the person that they really are. The person that has to go out and date, the person that has to be in a committed relationship, the person that has to go to work, the person that has to interact with the world. So that aspect of the self is not being developed because a person is trying to present themselves to be the next Kim Kardashian, the next whoever that person might be that they think, and becoming one of those famous Instagram, Twitter people is playing the lottery. And when it's all said and done, it's getting hit by lightning. It's not something that's going to happen for the majority of people that are on social media. And the secondary thing, as I mentioned about the dopamine high, is if a person posts something and they're not getting the likes, then okay, especially from, I'm gonna say this from the female perspective more than the male perspective. Okay, how far am I willing to go to get the likes that I want?
There you go.
From the male perspective, it puts guys in the perspective of what's the word I want to use? Desensitizing. Probably the best way I can say this. Desensitizing people where people are viewed primarily as objects, not people. And it's just something we have to be mindful of. So we don't get to the precipice.
I love that.
I love that.
That's
exactly somewhere ish.
I know Ish just came out of the blue. He said that. You know what, Ish? All I've got to say is we missed you while you were sick last week. Before we go to commercial, Gerald, thank you for watching us. This is Gerald from 60s to New 40. He'll be on tomorrow. He'll be talking about the 30-minute arm workout. So don't miss it. Folks, we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Taking the chance, stuck in my head, not gonna leave it at that. Taking the lead, feeling your heat, just wanna give you my best. I don't even know your name, but you got me, cause you're old to die. We don't know what happens next, but you got me, cause I'm next in line. You make it look so easy, making me feel so dreamy. Never wanna pay for drinks, but you got me, cause you're old to die. Got me locked in now. Go ahead and take a shot. Do you really want me? Maybe you're just...
Hey guys, welcome back to the 5 F's to Love. Tonight we have Real Talk with the Men. Guys, this has been a conversation that's been titillating in my mind like for weeks and days, among so many other conversations that I want to have with you guys. So leaning more so into what, Galen just spoke about, I think when you look at how we're presenting the concept or the idea of social media, it's like, well, how far will a person go to get the likes, right? But not only that, people are now sharing everything that they do throughout the day, and people are paying for the privilege to see them live in their reality. So for you guys, this is the question. Are you looking for, I don't know, the social media chick or the real chick? Because I don't know. I don't know how this is going to pan out in a second, which direction we're going in.
They have a how-to, Christine, right? So if you live your life looking at a how-to, social media is a tool. It's a way for you to show this is me. If you're a woman, you can say this is my life. If you like it, slide into my DMs. If you like it, contact me. So it doesn't have to be, in many ways, it's a precipice of destruction, but it could also be the precipice of opportunity.
I just want
Oh,
to
I
say,
agree.
if since you started the precipice, everybody's going to say that for the
I'm
entire.
not going to say that word.
That is our word of the
I'm
day.
going to tell the whole time. Can I get that
He's
word
like,
out?
I'm not gonna.
When Vera was talking, I was like, say it one more time. I think I got it. He said, one more time. I quit.
That is like our
I
word of the
give.
day.
Now, I agree with Matt from a monetary standpoint. Yeah, it's gonna do gangbusters. It's doing gangbusters. People making a lot of money. You have people who are making significant amounts of money, significant incomes with these platforms, OF and social media. But there's a yin and a yang. I've heard a few negative statistics that have scared me. I think it'll scare most of the people on the panel because we're parents. I heard something where 1 out of 3 men between 18 and 30 hasn't had sex or is a virgin. By the year 2030, half of the marriageable women will be single. 51% of the marriageable women will be single. So, I have kids who are going to be married, who are going to be getting, be dating and marriage in about 10 years or so. So I'm concerned about what the, landscape is going to be like for them. It was rough for me, but, it was navigable, but the numbers don't look good.
The numbers don't look good at all. Okay, real quick, Janice, thank you so much for joining us. She says, greetings all. I'm happy to be here. Janice, we're happy to have you. This is one of my friends. So hi, Janice. With that fans only, and this is my concern with fans only. It's really, and I think fans only is great for a lot of things. It allows you to be in your fetish, your ideas, your concepts about what it is that turns you on. And I'm okay with that. That's like the virtual peep show, right? That back in the day, you would go to the peep show, throw your money in a little thing, and I get that part. Everybody has little fetishes. So if the woman made how much money? Somebody said $10,000 on showing her feet.
Just showing the feet, yeah.
The problem I have with that is now that I have some teenage daughter or some daughter that should be in college doing what she's supposed to be doing, now she's showing her feet. Now she's doing this, and she's thinking this is a real job. Right? It's not a real job. This is like a one-off situation. So what are your thoughts behind that? Because to your point, Ish, our kids are growing up in this social media world. And one of my friends, their kid said, look, I can make just as much money online. It's like, that's not reality. That's like a one-off. Go ahead, Galen.
Well, I do think we have to separate what you would call traditional mainstream social media versus OnlyFans. I think that's I would consider traditional social media, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram as the main ones. And the younger people trend towards Instagram, Snapchat, and now I would say TikTok.
But also with TikTok and Instagram, they're leaning towards OnlyFans with some of the stuff that's happening in that space.
Yes. My point that I'm making is traditional social media is not paid subscription stuff.
Exactly.
That's what I mean by that. Okay. Mm-hmm. So just to differentiate, because the internet, we want to open up the now we're really talking about the precipice of destruction if we open up the whole internet. So I love that. I told you that I'm gonna figure out how to use this every time I can think of it.
We're all gonna use it, Ish.
Yeah. So, but it's a couple of things. First of all, there's always going to be a generation of people that can figure out how to make money in ways we didn't figure out.
Right.
That's life. Okay. And they're going to value it differently than we valued it before. The challenge comes into play is when you're dealing with, younger people saying, well, this is a job, this isn't a job, this is this is that. And you tell somebody, okay, well, you go work at Burger King in the drive-thru for 40 hours a week, or I can show my feet. Which one am I going to do? Let's just be honest here for a second. That creates some cognitive dissonance when it comes to ethics, morality, and integrity and things of that nature, because they're saying, well, how would that be different than a person that was modeling for a magazine or et cetera, et cetera? They're not showing anything that they don't want to show per se. So I do think that we have to always take a look and see what every culture has to do, every generation. What's the line now? You learn from the past. You ask yourself, what are the values? What are the results that we wanted to receive now? and then you evaluate it and you make the wisest choices, hopefully, that will get you the results that you desire. Now, the challenge comes into play is, just like us, we don't automatically just take the values of our parents and grandparents. For example, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, who I adored and who adored me, did not believe in going to the movies. She believed movies. She didn't believe in going to. She didn't believe in R&B, anything that wasn't gospel music. All that stuff was the devil, all of it. So because of that, I couldn't roll with that type of energy. Energetically, that didn't make sense to me. So I was very dismissive of her, some of her ethic, because it didn't make sense to me. She could be super sanctified. That didn't make sense to me, that you couldn't dance and you couldn't listen to James Brown, and you couldn't go to the movie theaters to see the movies you want. I don't drink, but people who drank wine or whatever, she was very, particular about. So every generation has to decide, what's my line now? Mm-hmm. And hopefully as elders now, as we're getting older, we can help our young people define the line. But we have to recognize that they're not automatically going to take our line and say it's theirs.
I agree. I think there has to be some defining point. When my son said to me the other day, Mom, I need you to look at TikTok. It's a girl who's interested in me. Never in my wildest dream did I think I would be looking at potential mates for my child in TikTok. He said, and I said, well, one young lady, we were out and I said, did you guys exchange phone numbers? He said, yes, she Instagram. I said, what do you mean? He said, I Insta her. We don't do phone numbers anymore. We talk to each other on Instagram. It just blew my mind that we've transitioned from just physically talking to someone to texting the entire conversation. There's no talking. So that just blows my mind. So real quick, Eric, thank you so much for joining us. He says, hi, everyone. This is a great conversation. Thank you, Eric Price.
Well, Christine, one of the things I will say, and see, this is where, and I really believe all the guys will agree with me on this. This is where we can't be hypocrites. When I had to call and the daddy was answering the phone.
Yeah.
And said, you can't talk, my daughter can't talk right now. If I was a young person today and I had the opportunity that I could text,
you would be on Instagram,
Facebook DM, Twitter DM, Snapchat DM, FaceTime, and all of these type of things. Right. I would have loved it. It was so hard to communicate with a girl when I was a teenager. It was beyond hard. And now it's easy. So I'm not going to sit up here and be hypocritical and say that, people have an option where a woman is pursuing you via the social media, when we used to have to go to the party, learn how to dance to the house music song, go out there, have to compete literally in real time with other guys that were trying to get the ladies' attention. Oh man, it's much easier now. I'd say that to my brothers all the time. I was like, these young guys have it easy. We were in Hunger Games when it was trying to get that phone number.
I mean,
I agree, but fathers have it harder. It's easy for the young men, but the fathers, like you said, the fathers were the gatekeepers.
Yeah,
now,
it's much harder.
They can subvert that whole process now. And I don't know.
No, it's a yin and yang, like you said before. But if you were at that age, now,
it was like sweet.
You would use all the mechanisms that were available to you. I really believe that.
All right, so Tim, what about you? You got 3 boys. So for you, what do you think?
So I allow my children freedom to grow and to be on. I don't check the YouTube and all that stuff. I double down and check them every now and then, whatever. But I keep them pretty straight to give them their freedom to know to do the right thing. Because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own. When they go out their door, there's a whole world out there. You just got to try to prepare them the best you can for what's out there, and hopefully they make the right decisions. And if they make the wrong decisions, that they learn from them. So I ain't gonna just say criticize them for doing one thing, because I did a whole bunch of shit that wasn't probably cool too. So I'm just gonna try to do my best. I'm gonna do the best I can do, and hope they make the right decision. And if they have to learn, hope they don't learn the hard way too hard.
Okay, so my question to you guys is promoting the ideal woman versus the real woman. Do you think in some ways that we are really misleading, and especially our young guys and men currently? And I say that because this whole online dating thing has blown up. Now you can do online dating, you can meet people in the metaverse, you can do all of these different things. And the women who men are most attracted to look like Jessica Rabbit. But in reality, she shows up and she looks like, Big Mama. So you fell in love with her online and now you don't really want her in reality.
But Christine, that doesn't have to be that way. The reality is that there's all kind of movements. I mean, you got the passport brothers who think they can go overseas and find someone who's going to love them. Then you got the brothers who are into all natural. And so I think the beautiful thing about the internet is if you're authentic and you show who you are, there is somebody out of these 7 billion people who going to like you for you. Listen, not everybody want a six-pack.
Take your shirt off, man.
Everybody want a six-pack.
I told you, take your shirt off. Everybody don't want no six-pack.
I don't want a six-pack. So, that's the beautiful thing about the internet is that there's something for everyone. And so the key is when they meet you in real life, does your social media persona line up with who you are in real life?
Okay, so Matt and Tim, y'all was just going at each other. What's up with that? He's talking about.
I just told my brother that, man, you got to be happy with yourself on the internet, man. Because when you happy with yourself, don't nothing else really matter, and then somebody's gonna like it. Everybody don't want a hard body.
Okay, so we're clear. If you're just tuning in and you haven't watched the promos, Tim is the one with the six-pack. That's the reason we're teasing.
Well,
Matt's
people want different stuff. I really don't want a fake titty, but they have them. I tried to feel like in balls in Walmart.
So let me ask you guys this question. What's your thoughts around the online baddies getting a higher number of likes versus the regular women?
How's that different than regular life?
That's the whole point. And I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
I'm glad you said that.
Let me jump on this one.
Right. I think that, honestly, women need to hear from you guys because they are transforming their bodies because of likes, literally transforming their bodies.
Here's what's happening. You have a lot of transactions being done, communications being done. But when you look at the final analysis, the marital rate is going down. Women want to get married. Let's be honest, right? So all these different new tools of communication is not working. It's not working. You're talking to a lot more people. But at the end of the day, you don't have the ring. So I'm not buying this whole thing as being a new way of making it better or easier. Maybe making it easier, but is it success? Is this making these women successful? And the baddie thing, I would tell any young man, any woman who uses that term, she gets completely dismissed from the jump. I would never even consider a woman who uses that terminology. We can date, but the dating reference would be recreational use only.
You know what, Ish? This is the reason why I want to kiss your face. Right? What you just said. He was like, it's recreational only.
Yeah, we have to distinguish between the two, marriageable women and recreational use. And that's what, I want to get back to Tim, you have 3 sons. My concern now is, when we're coming up, dads are concerned about their daughters. I'm concerned about the boys because the women today are a lot more experienced than the boys. I have a young son who's somewhat immature, and I've talked to my daughter, I've talked to my son. I'm more concerned about my son getting caught with these baddies than my daughter's getting caught with the bad guy.
Yeah, I get it.
Interesting perspective.
Like I said, you gotta let them out the house. I'll pray for you. I'll pray for you. I'm
gonna let them out, but I'm giving the proper guidance. That's why I'm online studying, learning their language, learning their lingo.
Because
I'm in the chat rooms.
Social media is not bad because if you have like my kids, they watch social media stuff. Like if you have a kid, a 6-year-old, and all he does is push trains around all day, and he has a whole line of stuff in Walmart now. Take Ryan for instance. I mean, that's kind of passive income. I ain't saying quit your day job or whatever. Instagram monetized me for some of that little foolish non-dancing stuff that I do. And I would do a video if I wasn't getting paid for it. But since I got enough followers stuff, so they monetize me for that. So I don't think it's to set out to be your job. But if you're getting paid for doing something, I think you should look the part or be the part. Like just for example, I don't believe that steroids use is fair for athletes and all that stuff right there, whatever. But I think if a high school kid was getting drafted, had a chance of getting drafted in between $50,000 signing bonus, which is not a lot of money that he should not skip college for, because it's not a lot of money. And then $1 million signing bonus. If he did something under the right doctor's care, right there, whatever, and made him go from $50,000 signing bonus, like I said, not worth skipping college about, because they draft you right out of high school, and you've been farm leave and they bring you up, and to doing something that you're gonna get paid. But nowadays, a lot of people doing these cosmetics and steroids and different stuff just for cosmetic looking. You know what I mean? You're going over in Mexico getting the cheap version of the booty. You know what I mean? Booty might pop. You get to go on 60 miles per hour on the interstate, the booty might just pop and over. You know what I'm saying? Blow it cheap. So like I said, if you're doing something that's maybe gonna benefit what you're doing, your profession or whatever, if you're a model, whatever, benefit your profession. But I don't think that all this doctrine around the internet and cutting and doing on yourself right there, whatever, just for cosmetic purpose, just so you can say, man, you got nice ass, or man, bro, you big, or whatever. You know, I don't think that's the route to go, or whatever. I believe that if you can make yourself better under the right supervision or whatever, and that's what's paying you, whatever, to support your family. You know, because I'm from the street, so I really can't knock the person that does friends only.
Right.
What's called friends only? I don't even know what's called.
Yes, friends only.
I really can't knock them, because this person could be studying in college to get a degree or doing something else. And while she's sitting up there reading a book and she's twiddling her toes, making $10,000 a month, I'm not going to be mad at that, because we know from the beginning of time, since they were etching it out on stones, man, dog's gonna chase the cat, man's gonna chase the woman, and that's the nature of the beast. That's what's gonna go down any kind of way you chop it up. You know,
okay,
if it ain't this, it'll be that.
And married women look real. Married women look real.
Guys, we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Look real.
I'll answer your question about what I did with my son to make sure he didn't get caught up in those bodies. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Out my mind, give me some directions to get to you. Ain't gonna waste my time. I know that we got connection. I think about you. You're on my mind, yeah. I'm going out of my mind, yeah. For you, my love, you drive me crazy. Tell me what to do. I'm on my knees, yeah, I am begging you. I'll break the rules if it will get.
Okay, welcome back to the 5S to Love. We're having real talk with the men tonight, and we're talking about social media versus reality and imagery and understanding how we kind of manage that. So, it's going back to your question, with my son, it was really interesting because being a mom in tech, my son was immersed in a lot of different things very early. And I think for me, I sat down and talked to him. And I said to him, a person like your mom, I work every day. It's not to say that she's not a beautiful person, but the reality of it is that she's not going to have time for all of this, right? It's unrealistic for anybody to think that a person who works a full-time job, going to school full-time, taking care of you full-time, and managing the house is going to have time for this bathing suit body and this, whatever this weave is in the hair and it's flowing in the wind, and I got time to be posing and all of this. But I also said to him, there's nothing wrong with beauty, right? And that he has to judge it for himself, what's important to him. So the thing is, I said to him, you have to emulate what it is that you want. And so I made sure every day that I emulated a woman taking care of business. And so far, every person that he's picked, now they may be different races because his mother is all mixed up. So that's okay. But one thing I like about all of these girls, they all have a good, strong work ethic. So again, I'm not caught up on the body. I'm caught up on what type of person she is. And that's the way I managed it, because you know what? I'm stimulated by a man who has a nice physique. So I can't knock him for it, right? I just want to make sure she's not empty. And if she's not empty, then we good to go. We can keep it moving, right? So that's the only way. You can't, Galen said, our kids, it's a whole different thing happening right now. If we had what they have right now, I don't know if half of us would be married. We got too many options out there. And that's the way I feel about social media itself. Do you guys think that people have too many options right now?
The issue isn't options. The issue is choice. Because regardless of the options you have on the table, sooner or later you have to make a choice. I tell people this all the time when they start talking about living their dreams, following their passions. Sooner or later you have to choose. And people who feel as though they have all these options and they never make a decision end up with nobody in anyway. It doesn't make a difference. But the question comes into play, which is, I'm sure what Matt probably deals with more than we do, is what do people really want? See, we're dealing with under the paradigm that everybody wants to get married, everybody wants this committed relationship, etc. I know that's not the case. I know that's not the case because when 15 years ago, I was officiating several weddings every year. Now I might do 2 a year. It's a totally different world now. So to assume that people are pursuing this committed relationships, that they're pursuing wanting to be with somebody long term, is our paradigm. It does not necessarily mean it's young people's paradigm, because they've seen, unfortunately, divorce, breakup, bad this, bad that. And now they're to a point to where there's some resignation when it comes to relationships. When you hear the way people talk about relationships in general, it's pure resignation. They don't believe in it anymore at a high percentage. And we need to be mindful of that.
Do you think social media has gotten people to think that they can actually, and I think for me, I look at it from this perspective. People feel like, oh, if you don't work out, I can just go get me another one. Like it's easier versus your world was a little bit different. You didn't have access to so many people. And now somebody can DM you from across the country and you can formulate this relationship. The next thing you know, boom. Because a guy literally left his wife for a woman that he met in social media.
A lot of people are fake people too.
What did you say?
A lot of people are not the real person that you're talking to on there too. I got like 30, for what reason, I don't know why, but I got like 30 different pages on Instagram that putting posters of my kid and playing just like got my whole thing up there, going down through my whole friends, wanting to befriend them. I'm like, so okay, a lot of people you talk to, if they can't FaceTime you, probably gonna be something going on with that. So
and that's the other thing. I think people are able to duplicate and pretend to be different things. So in your perspective, how would you approach the whole social media thing when people are posting what restaurant they're at, where they're what they're wearing, where they're going all day, every day, and people feel a need to keep up with everybody's life and then try to one up them? It's not keeping up with the Joneses next door anymore. It's keeping up with your social media feed and making sure everybody thinks your life is just as great as the other one. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, that's true what you said, because people would go and take a whole vacation trip or go somewhere just to take a picture beside a thing to post it on their social media. They would go all the way to Memphis to go to the rest of the soul, the guy's church, just to take a picture out in front of the church when they're having the men's service from Memphis, where that the tragedy took place. So people would do that, but at the end of the day, it's all going to be exposed. I mean, and who are you fooling? Because at the end of the day, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. I mean, myself, I just be a fool on there. I guess people just like, because I'm just a genuine myself a fool. But you're
using it for entertainment. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, so I think that, I still go back to social media as a tool. And I would tell any client that you need to use your tool to get the results that you want. It's all about choices, I think, is what Reb called it. It's about choices. And the reality is, no matter how many likes you have, if you have 50,000 likes or 100,000 likes or 1,000,000 likes, you can only be with so many people in real life at one moment in time. And that's one person at one moment in time. So for the vast majority of people, they're not going to get 100,000 likes. They're going to get 20 likes, 15 likes, and they need to use that tool for whatever purpose they have. And like he said, not everybody wants a relationship, but everyone likes to be liked. I think we can all agree with that.
If you're getting all of these likes and then they're not engagements that's putting money in your pocket or putting something toward the direction of what you're doing, what is it really about? Because it's really all fake love. You can throw fake likes and emojis all up there, all you want to, but then you can ask the person to come on the show tonight, support me and Galen and the brothers. You know what I mean? You say you fuck with me, come on there and just tap in, and they won't do it. But they stay on social media all day. It's just the same. Right. One click away. So.
That's right.
That kind of
I don't
lends
need a lot of likes and emojis. I need realness.
Right. So that kind of lends to what I'm asking you guys next is why is it that what the likes like, and I know people have like 90,000 followers. Why is it those 90,000 followers, 2,000 likes a day or whatever you post doesn't translate into real world support? Do you think it's because it only takes Go ahead.
I think that's dependent. As Tim mentioned earlier, there are people who are monetizing those amount of people. So, if posting that you're eating where you're eating is putting money in your pocket, then I'm pro get the money. So let me just be clear about that. I'm pro get the money. So as long as you're not violating your ethics and your integrity and et cetera, do what you got to do. Now, far as dealing with people who feel as though that they are not interacting and engaging, and people, goes back to what Matt was saying earlier. You still got to deal with people in real time. You still got to be able to deal with real people, real time, because Dr. Willard Harley, he's a psychiatrist. I don't think he's still alive. I don't know if he is or isn't, but he had a thing he called the love bank, and the love bank just meant this: with every interaction with another human being, there are withdrawals and deposits. So just for instance, Christine, I'm dealing with you and deposit. But say for instance, we also have situations where there are withdrawals. That's real life responsibilities. That's the bills. That's all the other stuff. Now you're dealing with these other people on social media, but the only thing that's happening because of likes and nice comments and things of that nature is just deposit. So what ends up happening is people get an emotional attachment to people because they're having all deposits and no withdrawals. So psychologically, the issue that happens with social media is it creates a false persona. This is how people end up with the work wife or work husband, because they're dealing with people in a positive way and they have no responsibilities with them that takes withdrawals out of the love bank. So social media has replaced, to a certain extent, how people would interact with people in work and sororities and libraries or wherever they met, where all they did was have positive interactions with people and no negative interactions, no painful conversations, no arguments, no anxiety, no frustrations, no disappointments. And therefore, it creates a false sense of commitment and attachment that doesn't necessarily show up in the real world.
Man, I was wanting you to throw that word in there.
Well, he was waiting.
I was wanting you to throw that word there one more time. Wait, I said he's going to do it. He's going to do it.
He wants to throw that one more time. Yeah, you have a shout out from Chocolate. What is it? Chocolate. What is it? I can't read that.
Chocolate One.
Okay, Okay, what's up with that? Okay, hey, Chocolate.
This conversation is motivating me to write a protocol or on Opus about how to circumvent this whole dating via the Instagram. Via social media.
Shout out ish. What is an Opus?
I mean, I'm being funny.
I thought it was a flower or something.
Because my whole approach would be
his vocabulary.
I want to go back to the analog days. I want to write Opus on the analog way of dating. because I'm not buying this whole social media thing. I'm just not feeling it. I want to give the young people or people who are looking to date, how we did it back in the days, and I think it worked well. And using it as a tool, but not it being the main focus of your efforts.
I'm 100% in support of that. I have to take a proud mommy moment. So when I talked to my son earlier, he says, I'm going out on a date. I know the young lady. He says, I got flowers for her and everything. And that was just one of those moments, because one of the things my son would see me go out on a date, the guy would bring me flowers. And it's so funny how he translated that into his dating life. And he says, Mom, I'm taking her to a good restaurant. Remember the one that we went to? And I was just like, see, this is how you do it. So to your point, he's using new school to have the conversation, but when it comes to face-to-face, he's using old school. So he's marrying that. And I like that, because it was so important for me to emulate to him how to treat a woman. And it was like he's doing it. I hope he's not watching, and don't watch this, Larry, because he hates for me to talk about him. But Midget, I'm just so proud of him that he's doing this. So Matt, you've got a mixture of boys and girls that you're raising. And I just want to say, your son, he's a hottie. So you're going to have some magic coming your way in a minute. Well, both of your boys are attractive, but your oldest son, he's a hottie.
Christine, I do want to interject about something before he replies.
Yes.
One of the reasons why you have to be careful about talking about your son's dating life, because dating doesn't mean commitment.
It doesn't.
And that could mean that he could be going out with someone today, trying to date someone on Saturday, and the one who got the flowers knows that you're not talking about that person. So, exactly. so in real time, because sometimes people think dating automatically means I'm committed to you, instead of I'm getting to know you to see you as a potential suitor. I'm a suitor seeking to see if there's something more. I'm just saying, don't blow up your son's spot.
Okay, Julian, I'm not blowing up your spot, but also told him everybody don't deserve flowers either.
Christine,
I told him that.
Christine, I think at some point we need to have a discussion about the origins of dating. I think that'll be a great topic for us to discuss at some point.
Oh, the origins of dating. Oh, we can definitely do that again. And that's the thing with what Galen was saying. A lot of people get confused with dating with I'm in a relationship, which is two different things.
Dating, courting, the whole thing,
Yes, it's the whole thing.
Dating might be less than 200 years old in the Western
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like seriously.
Yeah.
If you look at what real dating is probably a 19th century Western phenomenon. Before then, most marriages were arranged all over the world.
They were.
And the simple fact is there's a lot of risk in dating. There's risk in online dating. There's risk in real world dating, especially as people take dating to mean a quasi relationship, but no responsibility, especially no responsibility for the man. Because in many instances, almost every single one, at the end of the day, it is the woman who has to bear the responsibility. And so it's an interesting way of how we look at the language. And for me, that's the most important thing, is getting the language right. You asked me about the children. I talk to my children about the language. I am not naive. It is so much easier to swipe left and swipe right and to judge who's hot and who's not, if nothing else, just to get a conversation started. But at the end of the day, I can't protect my children from the world. They have to go out. They have to meet these people. And I tell them, use the internet as an investigative tool to find out as much as you can about the person that you're going to eventually be talking to. And at the end, but you still got to meet them. I can't be there. I would love to be there, but I can't be there. And I would love to go back to analog too. But I think that the way it is now, and two, I don't know whether it was Good Guy or Rev who said it, but it's so easy to swipe left and right. Why would I ever go out in the snow to brave somebody's daddy or mama in the doorway when I could sit up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning texting them all night? That's unbeatable right there.
That's a winner every time.
But also, Matt, therein lies the problem. It's so easy.
So, guys, we'll be back right after this commercial break. We're going to get the closing remarks from each one of you about your concepts of social media and reality. How does that really work out for us? We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
Look at me, I'm on. 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 Can't stop, keep going. Can't stop, keep going. Can't stop, keep going. Can't stop, keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Hold up. Yeah. I'm chasing a bag, I'm racing the clock. Look at them block, watching them flop. Used to see this in my sleep when I ain't had shit for my thoughts in the car. I really was lost. Now I'm public with the soundscapes. Niggas floss, I'm really pulling strings for the pound cake. I see you went for a puppet in the clown face for a little wage. That shit the talk of the town is late. Still me, I never switch sides. Came a long way with the. I need it all. Do you want it though?
Where do I begin? I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard he scammer, had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. Been through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, it's not a purse, it's a merch. 6 figures, what's a gold? Now it's 9 or a hearse. Put it work. Used to pull up, not swerve. No time for the snakes, time to put them in the dirt. That's word. I gotta get it, it's in my DNA. You only see the highlights, don't know what it takes. Last year stressing, got no sleep. Now I'm right between the courts, I don't know bleed. I see the hate, they don't wanna see me win. Bank deposits, I got more coming in. Top down, throw the money in the wind. I don't want it all. Heard he scammer, had to switch up the accounts. Moving paper, gotta call it my account. It's all in, I can have it coming out. And through the struggle, I can see another drought. Yeah, same circle, still the same gang. We just get to it, we don't gangbang. Lost some friends to the same thing. Keep a low pro.
Hey guys, welcome back to the 5 F's to Love, Real Talk with the Men. We were talking about reality versus social media. This has been a very interesting conversation. You know, you guys are a little bit more interesting than what I thought. The different dynamics in this whole conversation has really brought a different approach to things for me. So listen, if you weren't paying attention, you know, every guy here had one common thing to say. Reality is reality. So if you're going to show up in social media one way and another way in reality, that's a whole different conversation. Just try to be yourself and really focus on that. So Matt, I'm going to start with you, and you guys know I'm going to end with Galen, but I'm going to start with Maddie Matt tonight. So Maddie Matt, what do you want to say to the people?
Listen, I just want to say one thing. Show the world who you are, the best version of who you are. That way they know up front, if they like it, they like it. If they don't, just keep moving. But you're going to find enough people that like who you are. Show your best pictures, and then it'll all work out. So if they don't remember nothing else, show them who you are.
Matt, I like this, that you did the whole framing the face. That means show your real face. Thanks, Matt. Okay, Ish, what you got?
I would say use it to make money, but don't let it be the sole, focus of your dating efforts. It should be a tool, not be, the main focus. It should be an adjunct to what you're doing on the outside in the real world.
Okay. And just to let you know, chocolate is Ish's little cousin. So that we're clear, that's Ish's little cousin. I don't look, everybody thinking that's Ish's little cousin out there. Ish, thank you. That's really important. And we are going to have to really talk about that whole analog conversation, reverting back to that, because there are some gaps missing when we talk about, and again, I'm a techie, so I support it, but I'm also concerned about where it's taking us when we're getting away from that personal touch. Thank you so much. All right, come on, good guy. What's going on with you?
I mean, it's a hard act to follow after those guys, but I mean, it's basically the same thing they said. I mean, just keep it real. I mean, if you're doing something on social media that's boosting your brand or getting you some passive income or something to help you take care of yours, I'm all for that. I mean, but don't get so wrapped up into social media that you loving these people like they actually are something to you, because you don't know these people. You know image. You don't know how many times they took to take that picture. And I'm not saying that you can't meet somebody online or something like that, because you possibly can, but you just gotta be true to yourself and know what you're looking for, and like I said, just don't feed into the belief that these people are actually who they are, or that's something that because a lot of people will love you fall in love with a person you never had a word with this person or never said anything, but you love them, and you So like I said, just keep it 100, like the fella said, and everything comes out in the wash. That's that country slang, ain't it, girl?
I country slang. All I gotta say, Tim, the good guy cracks me up with his country slang. So, Galen, you're the voice of reason.
Well, I would simply say, use social media. Don't let social media use you. When it's all said and done, as Matt kept saying, it's a tool. If you use it for the reasons that can boost your brand, help you stay in communication with people, and even meet new people, that's a good thing. But don't allow it to become an addiction. I think that's the challenge when it's all said and done. Be able to monitor how you are interacting with people, actually having conversations with people. Actually, when you're with a person, you're present and available, not on the phone while you're on a date or while you're with friends or in social settings. Don't allow it to pull you away from actual human interaction, because it's not a substitute. It's a tool, and it's not going away. So I don't believe there's a going back to analog, by the way. I think that there is figuring out, as I said before, what's the new line? How do we use what we have now to do what we need to do? I would love to be able to use all of my old CDs that I have in my garage, but I can't play it in my car. I can't play it in my house.
I know.
You get my point. So
keeping them CDs though.
Right. So we don't want to be Blockbuster when Netflix shows up. What we have to figure out is what is the best way to use Netflix. Okay.
Great analogy.
That's the main thing. So you love yourself, value yourself, make sure you maintain your own values, integrity, morality, sense of self, honesty. And if you do those things, you won't get pulled into the negative things that could show up in any place, because anytime you have human beings interacting in a space, you're going to spectrum of the human experience. So my interactions on social media are all positive and loving, and the stuff that I see on my wall and my algorithm is wonderful. And another person can have a totally different experience. All right, because of how they're showing up. So the world meets you where you are, because as you know, I meet no one but me. God bless.
You know what? I love that. Galen always reassures me that it's just taking a different view on where you are in that space. So folks, if you're watching us, rewatch it tonight. It's not about whatever you think it is. If you post something and no one ever likes it, that's okay. It is very much okay. But always be uniquely you in whatever space that you're in. And thank you everyone for watching tonight. All I have to say is, baddies, you better watch out, because the real girls are coming for you, honey. We're not doing all that extra, and we're going to keep it real with you. The guys, they want somebody who's real and unique, and I'm not against anybody who makes any alterations to who they are. If you're doing it, just do it for yourself and be healthy about it. We're going to see you next week on Real Talk with the Men, but tomorrow we have 60s New 40 with Gerald. Saturday, we have the Finance Squad, and Sunday, it's Sunday Conversation with Dr. Shelley. We'll see you tomorrow night from 8 to 9 p.m. on the 5F's to Love Network. And thank you so much for watching.